Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to kind of experiment with something I've been wondering about for a while, and that is the differences between flipping during peak hours and versus flipping during off-peak hours. When I say peak hours versus off-peak hours, I mean peak hours in player count on old school RuneScape. For me, the peak hours are around 3 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Obviously, it's going to vary based on what time zone you're in, and off-peak hours are around 2 a.m. Now, if you want to check live player count, there is a website called misplaceditems.com, which will scalp the player count data every minute of every hour and will display it as a graph here so you can see exactly when the player counts are highest as well as lowest. So I'm going to try to replicate the exact same set of flips twice, once during the peak player count and once during the lowest player count. I'm going to go select 10 items from the top 100 most traded items list. I'm going to do one of these sets now and then one of them in maybe 8 or 9 hours, and then I'm going to compare the results. And for every flip, I'm going to record the amount of time it takes for that entire flip to buy and then sell. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoy and let's get started. So first up here, I'm going to go ahead and select a few different items. I'm on the top 100 most traded items list, which is right on the RuneScape website. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick 10 items. Okay, let's try mahogany logs. Let's try battle staves. Let's do magic logs. Let's do oak planks. Let's do blood runes. Let's do dragon bones. Let's do monkfish. Let's do sharks. Let's do adamant darts. And let's do the cannonball. Now I've tried to select a few different items. Some of them are extremely quick items and some of them are more expensive, slower items. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the first set of flips, and again I'm doing this during peak hours or close to peak hours, not exactly the peak, but within 1 or 2 hours. Now the whole reason I'm doing this comparison is because there's a bit of a debate between some people on when is the best time to flip. On one hand, if you flip during peak hours, you'll have a lot more volume for items coming through. However, also you're going to have a lot more competition. During off-peak hours, there's going to be less competition, so the margins may be larger. However, the items could take longer to come through because there's less people buying them. So we're going to go ahead and time how long it takes to complete all 10 flips, and also we're going to take into account how much profit we get from those 10 flips. And then we're going to make a comparison and see which one is better in this simple quick test. Now, of course, there are going to be a lot of variables at play here, so take this with a grain of salt. We're just basically going through every single offer, putting in an offer that's 1 GP more, so we are undercutting on both accounts. We're going to keep things as consistent as we can between the 2 trial runs. The only time we are not going to be undercutting is on a margin that's 3 or less, and we're going to do that on both accounts as well. So far, the margins are pretty slim on these first 4 items. We're moving on to dragon bones now. Now we're going to be flipping the full buying limit for every single item, so some of these are going to be a little bit expensive, so we will have to wait for a few offers to come through before we can complete all 10 of them. Not to mention we only have 8 offer slots as well. Now if an offer does stall out for quite a while, I will put it back in and we will try to get up to the buying limit. So far items are coming through very quickly. We have already bought like a quarter of every single offer we put in so far. We're going to put an offer in for the sharks, which have a 6 GP margin, not too bad on those. And we're going to put in our 8th item, which is the adamant dart. Currently has a 2 GP margin, not great, so we're not going to undercut on that one. And we'll put it in for 11k quantity. Okay, it's about 3 minutes later and we have bought and sold quite a few things already. And we have our full offer coming through on a few other items as well. The only reason they're not coming through as green is because I put in for the full buying limit and they did a price check, which means we're actually 1 over our buying limit, which is kind of annoying. So now that we have more offer slots available, we're going to put in our 2 last items, which are going to be the cannonball as well as the battle staff. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to flip the entire buying limit for the battle staff because it's a very expensive item. To do the full limit, it's going to cost me around 80 mil, which I could have, but I will have to wait a bit. We're going to check the mahogany planks in here for about a 20 GP margin, so not terrible. So we have all our dragon bones coming through. We have a pretty slim margin on the dragon bones as well. Nothing very notable so far. All the margins are profitable, but very slim. So we pretty much sold off all of our dragon bones and all of the mahogany planks. We're working on the adamant darts and we're just trying to collect as much money as possible because our last flip we need to do is the battle staff, which is very expensive. So we bought them for 8,900 and we are going to sell them 8,900. That is very expensive. Okay, well if this is successful, that's not going to be a fair comparison, but okay, that's a really good margin for battle staves. We'll go ahead and try and buy as many as we can. We'll go for let's go for 8,000. Alright guys, so we are done with all of the flips and it took us about 34 minutes to successfully flip all of these 10 items. Now we only decided to do 8,000 of the battle staves because it was just too expensive, so we're going to do that exact same amount on the next set of flips. So I think the best margin we got was about 8 GP, so not great considering how expensive some of these items were. However, 34 minutes is pretty quick for those 10 flips to be honest. So let's go look at how much money we made from the 10 flips. 445k. That's not great, to be honest. I've gotten much better quite a few different times. Peak hour is very competitive, so a lot of the margins just go to shit very quickly. 445k in 34 minutes, we'll keep that in mind, and we'll move on to the next 10 flips. So I recorded this footage when I got back from work, which was around at 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. We were down in pretty much off-peak hours. I went ahead and checked. So now we are going to replicate the exact same 10 items once again, and we'll see what the results are going to be. I personally like flipping during off-peak hours quite a bit more. Now, not necessarily because I think it's better, although we will see pretty soon. It's just a little bit less stressful. You don't need to redo your offers so frequently. I'm generally a pretty patient flipper. I don't mind waiting quite a while, so I'd rather have a larger margin that takes longer than have a bunch of slimmer margins that I have to constantly be managing. So the magic log margin is about twice what it was before. The mahogany planks we're getting about 20 GP on, so that is much higher than it was during the first attempt. Oak logs have a 10 GP margin, that's again about double. So we're going to put it in for 421. Next up, the blood rune, we'll go check that. The margin is still pretty small on the blood rune, only 2 GP, but we'll go ahead and put in all 10,000 of them. Now for the dragon bone, we're looking at 2490 into 2470. 20 GP on the dragon bone is about what it was earlier, although it did slim down, so I didn't actually get that margin in total. Now surprisingly, a few items are coming through very quickly. We already bought all of the oak planks. Next up here, we're going to move on to the monkfish. We bought it for 473 and we're going to sell it for 454. That is a very big margin on monkfish. We'll have to see if we can actually buy these quick enough. Next up here, the raw shark. We bought them for 841 and we are going to sell them for 835. It's about the same margin we had earlier. So we'll go ahead and do 10,000 of those. And the last 3 items we need to do is the adamant dart, the cannonball, as well as the battle staff. But look at that. A lot of our offers are coming through extremely quickly. Okay, so we went ahead and sold off our oak planks already. So we have room to put in the cannonball offer. And yeah, generally these items are coming through very quickly. We're only 7 minutes in and we're on to selling quite a few of our items already. So yeah, this is looking pretty promising so far. Okay, so we're now 13 minutes into our second set of flips. Things are going pretty well so far, although some of the offers have stalled out a little bit. We have 10,000 mahogany planks. We're selling off the dragon bones and we're selling off the adamant darts. We're going to use this 32 mil to buy some battle staves most likely. First up, we're just going to do a quick check on the mahogany plank because that's the item with the best margin. We can sell it for 2153, so a 30 GP margin is very good on mahogany planks. Oh yeah, that's gone up quite a bit. Well, we'll just leave it for a minute. Okay, so now we're moving on to the battle staff. Now, most of them are selling for 84.99, but we got a very good margin on a few of them earlier. We're 22 minutes in, so it is looking like it might take a little bit longer. We still have 3,000 battle staffs to sell, as well as 7,000 magic logs. Let's go have a look at the battle staff margin once again. We've had to recheck this offer quite a few times. Right now, look, it's selling for 8,630. I don't know how accurate that's going to be, but if we can sell even 1,000 battle staves at that amount, that's going to make us a ton of money. We're going to put an offer in for another 3,000 of them, trying to get up to that 8,000 mark, and we're going to sell them for 8,620, which is a massive margin. We'll have to see if we actually will keep that. Alright guys, we are done, and it took us only 38 minutes to finish selling all of the items. The battle staff, we only ended up selling around 1,000 at that price point, but still that is going to buff our profit by quite a lot. The rest of the items sold off in their due time. So let's go ahead and claim the last offer here of the battle staff, and we'll see how much money we made on our second attempt here. So we made 1 mil and 20k off of the second set of flips, and it took us 38 minutes, so only a few minutes more than the first attempt, and our profit margins were much higher, and our overall profit was much higher as well. Okay, so now I'm quickly going to have a look at the results. So for our very first trial test, we were flipping during peak hours. We got 445k, and it took us about 34 minutes. So on average, that's about 13k in profit per minute, or 785k per hour. While the items do have a potential to actually buy and sell quicker, there is also a lot more competition, which actually only makes your items buy marginally quicker. Now, there could be a different case made for items like Barrow's armor, expensive PVM gear that could actually benefit from being peak hour. However, in this case study, we're just doing 10 high volume items, which is not that good for a 100 mil cash stack. During off-peak hours, we made 1 mil and 20k, and that took about 38 minutes. So it only really took us 4 minutes longer to sell off all those items, which is not much. So on average, we earned about 27k per minute, or 1 mil 610k per hour, which is more in line with what you should be getting with around 100 mil. 1.5 mil to 3 mil an hour is not uncommon when you are flipping the high volume items and can be very consistent. So when you break it down to the per hour profit, we would have made twice as much profit flipping during off-peak hours compared to when you flip during peak hours. And mainly this all comes down to less competition, less players flipping, larger margins, and when you're flipping high volume items anyway, there will be enough volume for you to complete your flips quickly regardless of the hour. Anyway guys, that is it for the video. I may make a follow-up to this comparing different types of items. Maybe more expensive, slower items might be a more fair comparison. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time.